Yo, yo, yo. Are we live? I think we're going. Yeah. Yo, what's up, people? Tonight I am working on a mobile app. One of my hobbies is growing mushrooms, and I want an app that will help me track my grows and keep me honest on when to do things like moving things to bulk substrate and various stages of the grow. So I also want to incorporate some sensors into my grow environment so I can track them over time and see how they affect yields. Things like temperature and humidity. So let's get to it. I've got VS Code up and I've already got the app started some. You can see it over here on the left. And yeah, I've got two sensors enabled. I'm building this feature out right now. So basically I have two backends. I have one for typical user stuff, username, password, encrypted data that describes the grow, like what species, what substrate you're using, things like that. I have another backend that is running on a Raspberry Pi, and that is what is reading the sensor values, and I'm incorporating those sensor values into this application. So there will be like a grow, there will be sensors associated with each grow, and the sensors will be pulled periodically, and I'll be able to build a dashboard and see how different values affect the yield on the grow. So that's where we're at. And I was working on this sensor farm page here. Let's see. So I want to change the so the unit I probably need to change that in the back end. So let me SSH into the Raspberry Pi over here on the right, and go to sensor farm is what I'm calling it, main. So I'm going to change the unit to capital F for Fahrenheit. So that will be displayed in the front end here instead of the full word. And I want to add a degree symbol character. I don't really know how to do that, so I'm going to ask Claude. Can you add a degree Unicode character after the temperature value in sensor farm screen test results? Oh yes, it can do that. There it is. Accept. Okay, so that should just be degrees Fahrenheit. We have the timestamp. I would like to change the button. The buttons are a little close. So let's go up to this is the container that the two buttons are in, so I should be able to say gap 4. Oh, I need to start the let's see, npx run Android. So I'm running I'm using Expo for the front end, and I'm just starting that up, and it should be updating the emulator over here on the left soon. It's going to take a while. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, I gotta sign in. Duty. None of this is actual production stuff, so yeah. Oh, I need to start the back end, the other back end. So let's see. So I'll source the Python environment, and then the backend is in FastAPI. So that's going now. So we should be able to, there we go. Okay, so now should be able to go to profile, sensor farm. So sensor farm is one of the integrations that I have so far, and yeah, we have a URL. This is the URL of the Raspberry Pi. Well, it's the URL, the gateway URL for the Android emulator, but it's I have it proxied through. Actually, I need to start that. Let's see. I need to proxy this. That's not. Oh yeah, okay. So it's being proxied from the Raspberry Pi to my laptop, and then the emulator is reaching that just through the emulator bridge 10.0.2.2. So now let's see. Oh yeah, so the gap worked. That looks better. Cool, so let's test it again now that we have our fancy Fahrenheit character. Oh, I guess I need to start this one as well. There we go, and I think try that again. Woohoo! Cool, so you can see the temperature 75 degrees. Yeah, it's kind of hot in here right now. The sensor is actually behind me in that plastic tub. You can't really see it, but it's back there. Anyways, 75 degrees. And yeah, so that's cool. That's reading the temperature. There's an SHT30 temperature sensor connected to that. And yeah, it's pulling the live temperature from that and reporting it in this app. So what else do I want to do here? So I'm happy with the configuration so far. Let's go back. Let's check out dark mode. That looks pretty good. Okay. I need to be able to associate a sensor with the grow. So let's see here. I guess I can just... Oh, let's try to delete it. Delete. Cool, that worked. And then I want to... Okay, so I'm going to ask Claude to help me out with associating a set of sensors with a grow, because they're going to be, you know, each physical sensor is going to be associated with some grow that's going on. So help me associate a set of sensors from the sensor farm as defined by a given API URL and key with a grow. Each grow can be associated with a set of sensors. Let's see. Yeah, let's just do that and see what happens. So the user wants to implement a way to associate sensors from a sensor farm with a grow. This means we need to understand the current grow data model and how sensors might be associated with it. Create functionality to associate sensors from a specific API URL. Update the UI to support this association. All right, it wants to look at files. Okay. Just getting in some context here. All right, now it has a better understanding. So it looks like it's updating the grow model. Just adding some entries in the database. Sensor farm enabled. Sensor farm API URL, and that's for a given grow. Does that make sense? I actually don't want... So one of the things in this project is I want, well, yeah, so all the backend data, like the grow data, is going to be encrypted from the client side with the user key or user derived key. I'm thinking if it makes sense to just store it in the front end, though, in a secure store, Expo secure store. I guess it's okay, because it would just be eventually all it's going to be encrypted. So yeah, okay, we'll do that for now. I can always change it later. It's definitely a two-way door. Okay, it's thinking. It's masking the API key for security. Well, the API key is going to be encrypted. All of it's going to be encrypted, but for now, we can do that. All right. Updating the sensor farm attributes for when a grow is created. So this is in the front end now, and looks pretty good. Just added some fields to the interfaces. I'm gonna have to restart my backend. Sensor farm integration. I'm not sure why it's making a new file for this. So it's got get sensor data for grow. It's getting the URL and the key, API key. Now this sensor farm API right now is actually storing it in local storage, on client-side storage, but set temporary sensor farm settings. Okay. Has sensor farm configuration. And now it's also using, this is really weird. Yeah, I don't really like that. Restore original sensor farm settings. Set temporary sensor farm settings. So this is setting this value in local client storage. If there's a key, it's also doing that. I'm skeptical of this. I really should probably use a git commit to, or at least stage the changes before it goes and messes everything up. Okay, that's weird. That looks better actually, but let's see. Now it's adding the sensor data to the grow page, grow detail screen. So we've got some state here. Temperature, humidity, yep. Sensor data. And then if this grows sensor farm integration enabled, fetch sensor data. Grow data sensor farm enabled, set loading sensor data. Get the data, catch errors. Okay. What's down here? This is just a new section here. So if it's enabled, we have all of this, and got some views and got title there. We've got the actual Sensor data. When it's loading, we give an activity indicator, and when it's done loading, then we have data, then we display this. Okay, looks fairly reasonable. Looks like there's a parsing error somewhere though. It's probably from this. I have to update the database. Yeah, I need to work on database migrations. Oh, I think it's actually the grow one. That seems a little better. Yeah, this is the turning on the sensor farm for a new grow, adding it to the form. Okay. Now I'll add the use effect to load existing sensor farm settings and update the form validation. Okay. Load save sensor farm settings on component mount. Still not sure where, like why it's using. It's storing it in client storage anyways, so I don't know why it's storing it in the backend. I might have to go through and change that. All right, what's next? So I could add another section. Okay, it says it's done. We'll see. I don't have much faith in this one. It's kind of complicated. Got both the backends running. No grows yet. Okay, that's looking promising. Ah, sweet. So you can see the enable sensor monitoring was added. That's pretty slick. Why is this in the way? That's so annoying. Like, get out of the way. There we go. All right, so now, says it's network request failed. Oh. So if I go to here and then I go there, that should be turned off. Save. Test API connection. Okay, that worked. Maybe it's just the humidity that was on there. Oh, there's something wrong with the way it's calling that. It's calling get all sensor data. Oh. I think that's in. Where is that at? I think it's in. Let's see. Sensor farm and sensor farm integration. I have a feeling it's probably in this one. Right here. Get temperature, get humidity. That looks right. I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna debug this tomorrow. So, yeah. Cool. Well, I'm done for now. I will catch you.